welcome to today's tutorial. We are going to be working with the Spring Fling collection from Echo Park. We're also going to be using the ephemera and then the 12x12 collection kit, which includes those 12x12 stickers, along with 12 sheets of pattern paper. I added in two pieces of cardstock from Stampin Up called Coastal Cabana and 2 pieces of cardstock from Stampin Up called So Saffron. Okay, so you could easily find replacements for those two. Just going through the papers here, you'll notice that there's 2 each of 6 different double-sided papers. So there still is 12 different sides, but there's 2 of each of 6 different pages. Okay, so because we have 2 of each, what I'm going to go ahead and do when I'm sorting through here is just flip over every second one so that we see both sides of the paper here that we're working with. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and just remove all of the journaling cards because we're gonna use those as embellishments and they make great scrap paper. So there's 3 of those total. This one's awesome. It has like actually blank spaces, which would be awesome to journal with. So now this is what we have left to work with. Okay, I really don't like that boots paper, so I eliminated that first thing. This plaid paper here is going to make a great accent, so I saved that off to the side. And then here what I'm going to do is you'll notice that there's kind of like more of a white dominant background and then sort of a green, like those 3 on the left, there's a kind of a green tone to those pages. So I want 2 of each. I want 2 of the white colored background and 2 of those green colored backgrounds just to kind of help balance out. And it's a good idea to look at your sticker sheet just to kind of see what you're working with and see what kind of elements you want to bring in, and that'll help you choose your paper. So here I really like this flower paper as my second accent paper. I just think it looks well with all of the paper that we have for backgrounds, and it brings in a lot of different colors because there's a lot of colors in our embellishments. So I really like those 2 for my accent papers. Now I have to pick my 4 backgrounds. So I kind of bring out my cardstock here just to see what all these pages look like with the cardstock. And I end up choosing that butterfly paper. I know I really like that, and that flower paper there as well. I'm not a fan of the kites. We don't really do a lot of things with kites, so I put that off to the side. And then here I ended up choosing this this green paper here, that green checker kind of paper, and also this flower paper. Okay, so those are my selections for today's tutorial. We have cutting diagrams in my tutorial videos, and I just kind of want to let you know how to read them. So there's the number in top in inches, and that's going to be the size that we're going to cut that cut piece into. And there's a number below it in a circle. So a lot of the times we're making 4 pages or 6 pages when we're using these cutting diagrams, and all these cut pieces can sort of get very disorganized. So that number inside of the circle there represents a pile that you're going to put that cut piece into. So for a 4-page tutorial, we're going to make 4 piles, and for a 6-page tutorial, we're going to make 6 piles. So the numbers are going to be either 1 through 4 or 1 through 6. So page 1 is going to have all the cut pieces that have a circle with the number 1 inside, and so on for the 4 or 6 pages. So now we're going to go ahead and take all pieces of our cardstock, and we are going to cut 1 inch in, 1 inch from the top, and 1 inch from the bottom. And we're going to make a straight line on all 4 sides of each of these pieces of cardstock. What we're basically doing is cutting a 10 by 10 inch square out of the center of this piece of cardstock. The border is going to be put into our pile, and the center, the 10 by 10 inch center, is going to be put to the side, and we're going to be cutting it with another cutting diagram as soon as we're done cutting out all of these squares. Now we're going to go ahead and cut the backgrounds for our pages. So we are going to be cutting the barcode strip off along with 1/2 inch and then 1/2 inch on the other side. So we're going to be making an 11.5 inch by 11.5 inch square for all of our background papers. So here we're just gonna go ahead and I like to take my ephemera and put it out on the table in front of me before we get started with the embellishments on our pages. Also, what we're going to do is cut up some of the pieces that we are going to want to use out of our journaling cards. I like to cut up my journaling cards anyways, that where they're easier to use later. So we're just going to go ahead right now and just start cutting these up and cut the ones that you think you're going to want to use. I cut up the journaling cards specifically and a few of the 4x6s. Okay, so we're also going to need our scissors, our adhesive, and our foam tape. I really like this one. I have a link to it below. It's really stretchy, not stretchy, but it's spongy, so you can really compress it. So I find it's a little bit more flexible to work with. So I work with that, and I also work with these little squares that I have from Scrapbook adhesives. Okay, so here we're just gonna get started on our first page. I really like that happy banner that came in with the die cuts, and it's a really nice size. It fits really well underneath this photo area. We are gonna pop it up with some foam tape, so those little banner pieces will be popped up. And then I chose this this little quote here, and I glued that directly to the page with adhesive. I just made sure not to glue over top of the 5x7 photo area, that way I could easily slip in a photo later. Okay, and I found that the pattern paper here, it's very busy on this page, so you don't really need to fill a lot of areas with embellishments on this page. There's also going to be a little bit of area below that happy area if you did want to have like, if you wanted to cut up like some strips of journaling or anything like that. I don't foresee myself journaling on this page just because I already added a quote to it. So it's busy enough that you don't have to, but you could definitely add something at the bottom. There is space there as well. Okay, so that little flower, I tucked it in underneath the Y in the happy banner, and then I popped up the pink part, and then I also popped up that springtime little embellishment there, and now I'm just adding 3 flowers into that top corner, and I popped up the biggest one, but I just directly stuck the other ones onto the page. Okay, for our second page here, we have a 4x6 photo area and a 3x4 photo area, and I went ahead and added one of my blank journaling card spots, and I just kind of tucked it underneath the 2 pictures there. So there's a little bit of an area to write really small on that journaling area. I typically don't use like big handwriting when I handwrite on my journaling pages, so that's enough room for me. Otherwise, I usually type out my journaling because I don't really like my handwriting that much. And then there was just like a sticker that said "You are amazing," and I popped that up with foam tape, and I put that beside the journaling box there, or the journaling card. And then I just kind of clustered around that. So I also put that little bouquet of flowers in the bottom of that 4x6 photo area just to dress that area up a little bit. And then I added that little sentiment that says memories to it with foam tape as well. And then I felt like the top of the page needed a little bit of something. I was kind of putting a little bit too much at the bottom. So at the top of the 3x4 photo area, I'm going to put something. I've kind of played around with some different ideas of kind of having something in the top corner. But then in the end, I kind of liked the idea of putting it along the photo box. So I put this little saying that said, "It's little things in life," and then I added, I glued that directly to the page behind where my photo would go just a little bit, and then I added a butterfly there, and I did use foam tape on that one. I popped it up, and then just to finish this page off, I added 3 more flowers to this page, and they are all popped up with foam tape. There are going to be still photos on the blog, so you can see better side angles and stuff, so you can see what's sort of raised off the page and what's flat on the page, because it's hard to see from overhead what's popped up and what isn't. So our third page here, another 4x6 and 3x4 photo area. I really like using that size because it's the cheapest to print. You can get 2 3x4 photos out of 1 4x6 photo if you kind of do a little bit of editing before you send it off to the printer. So I really like using that size. I just think it has good value. This page really needed a lot because that background is a little bit more plain. So I added that Live Life in Full Bloom 4x6 journaling card there. And then I kind of decided that there was too much of a blank space around that 3x4 photo area. So I moved that in closer. I overlapped it over top of that green cardstock. I just didn't want it to be an island all by itself floating there. I don't like it when you have elements on the page that really do that. So I tucked it in, and then I kind of also tucked it behind that 4x6 journaling card. I kind of changed my mind a lot here with what I wanted to do, but I kind of wanted everything to focus at the bottom of these 2 photos. So at the top of that 4x6 journaling card, I did pop up that watering can with the flowers coming out, and then I popped up the tree along with that saying that says "Love makes everything grow." There's going to be a square piece there that I'm putting there, along with a little flying blue bug. Okay, I haven't done it quite yet here, but that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. And then I also popped up "It's little things in life" at the bottom of that journaling card. So basically what I tried to do is kind of just take that whole area, like a straight plane at the bottom of those pictures, and just create different layers sort of in one big cluster at the bottom of all that by incorporating elements that kind of layer on top of each other. And then at the top of the page, I just wanted to put a little bit of something in the top corner there, so I popped up a kite along with, and in the end I ended up choosing this little word that said fun right beside the kite. It's really hard sometimes when you're working with stickers to kind of move them around all over the place. So sometimes what I'll do is actually put foam tape on the back of them, but not remove the adhesive, so that I can kind of see it sitting where I potentially want it to be, and then I can just easily move that sticker around without it sticking to everything. You have to do that with some of the elements on the sticker sheet, just because they come they come as a sticker already. But I only do that if I know for sure I'm going to want to use a piece, an embellishment, because it would not be fun to put foam tape on it and then end up not using it. So for our final page here, I knew I had some bird elements, so even though there's butterflies on the background, I really wanted to bring in some birds on this page. So I used that blank journaling 3x4 journaling box with the bird on it, and I tucked it in there, and I used from the sticker sheet, there's a little bird element on a twig, and I popped that one off, and I felt like the bottom of this page had nothing, and I didn't like the embellishment. There's not a lot of long embellishments that I ended up having in this collection, so I just felt like it was just not working to have. Like, I wanted something at the bottom, but I didn't have anything that was small and long enough. So I ended up peeling up that whole set of, basically from the green cardstock and everything on top of it. I shifted it all up on the page. So luckily for me, I use adhesive that is slightly repositionable. It gives me a little bit of time to figure things out and move things around. I apologize if you guys don't have adhesive like that and you already stuck it on your page. So then I moved that bird on the twig down into that bottom corner. And here I was playing around with having some kind of sentiment to go with it. And I really enjoyed this Hello Sunshine one. I felt like the color of the blue where it says hello, or the green, I guess, greenish blue, where it says hello, sort of matched the same color as the bird. And then it also tied in the color of the bird from that journaling card at the top. So it was just a way to tie in the colors really nicely. And then here I also wanted to put something down in this bottom corner where the 3x4 photo area is. And I kind of just kept playing around, and I ended up choosing to just stick directly that circle that says the best spring, and I glued it directly to the page, and then I popped up those flowers on top of it. And again, if you want to see these clusters and you want to see some of the details and the height differences and some of the embellishments, I do have still pictures on my blog, and there's a link to that below as well in the description. And then to finish off this page here, around this journaling box, I just kind of wanted to add a little bit more to the top there. So I wanted to put this sentiment that said, "Oh, happy day." And I incorporated some of the same blue colors from this piece that are the same as the birds. Okay, and then I sort of just clustered around that little "Oh, happy day" with some of the smaller flowers. And all of the flowers that I put on this page are all popped up with foam tape as well. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and I will see you next Friday with another video.